documentary. So that was a really incredible thing. And then when Lawrence came on board, again, it evolved even further. So it really is a fantastic collaboration.
Thanks, Sahir. Mr. Lawrence, what brought you to the table to collaborate on this film?
Well, Ras phoned me. It's kind of simple as that. Ras phoned me up and said, I want you in this film. That's literally what his words were. And I said, so I went, okay. I said, do I get poetic license? He said, why do you think I call you? And I said, cool, I'm in. And it was kind of that, as long as that. And then I said, come, let's have a talk. So I went over to the house, we sat down, we spoke about it. And when he said that it's fully independent, and we've got full say on what we say and how it is, and there's no editor or anybody's going to come along and try and clip our work. I said, anything you want from me, you can have it. So I said, there's my whole poetry portfolio. You can all look through it. Anything you want to take from me, use it for this one. And then anything you need me to independently write, we're writing. And that's
a real open, collaborative process, right?
From when I knew that there was nobody going to be involved that was going to be able to touch the edit other than us, and we could sit there to give the voice there, to give power to Ras Judah's voice, so that his true story of this man. In a sense, it's funny because the wider public, they know that moment. And in a sense, when I look at history, that one little incident reminds me how people look at African history, and it seems like that taser incident's the slave trade. But to Ras Judah, there is so much more. But people just see this one point, this one thing in time, which people are conflicted about. They're not quite sure what happened, what is here. So by there to tell his true story, so that people get to see the measure of the man that this incident happened to, and then put it into the context of what happened at that moment to get an understanding. I just think that's a beautiful thing to be able to do that as independent filmmakers and artists, to tell stories that the media will chop to pieces to make it stand a certain way that the piece is there. So that's why if you know me, kind of type of stuff I enjoy to do.
Mr. Ras Judah, what made you decide to make this film?
It's difficult for me to find individual reason to decide to commit myself to this. But first and foremost, for some time now, many of you may have known what has happened to me. Now, I've had approaches from other broadcasters, so to speak, even if I have funds to do something with regards to my story. As Zaire alluded to earlier on, that yes, I was waiting for the right opportunity to deliver my story, because where I am, was and still is, very mindful of this story being forward to a major broadcasting company. As even Bash alluded to earlier on in his ceremony, to suggest that major companies would take your project and cut it up the way in which they see fit. And this is the reason why I was refusing for a number of reasons to commit myself to projects such as this. When Cleo, the chair for the Justice for Judah campaign, even though now she's committed to being the Lord Mayor, so she is not able to fulfill that particular task. She had made some contact with me to suggest that there's this chap wanted to speak to me with regards to doing something with regard to a video or something like that. And Zaire made contact. Once we have sit down and have a discussion, and he demonstrated to me that his total commitment to be independent, to take ownership of any project that I undertook to cover with him. That gave me the opportunity to suggest to myself, say yes, this is a project that I will gladly get involved with, because A, will be have total control, B, it will be going to most communities such as ours. This finished project will be at their disposal to view from time to time. Now, the reason behind that is A, what has happened to me, it's not something that we should be looking lightly. What has happened to me, this is something that affects people of my particular culture up and down the country for a number of years. Therefore, we need this sort of actual proof. Even though we have got many occasions we have got proof before, we have never have an opportunity just as this. This particular proof is worldwide. It's worldwide. People right around the world knows what the injustice which has been happening to me. Now, mentioned before, the injustice has been happening to black. And no disrespect meant to other colours. I do know that other colours suffer from injustice as well. But you need to understand from my perspective, I'm an Afro-Caribbean individual. So we tend to feel it slightly more than others. Right? So the opportunity came up for us to ensure that the world be aware of what's happening. And we do recognize the fact that we'll be having total control. We'll be putting out factual information we're going through to into the video. It will be the project will be very interesting, very factual and interesting. That's the absolute fact, because it's impossible for me to involve with something which is going to deceive people. No, we're not going down that road for whatever reason. So this is the reason that we have come to. So we have get together as a collective body, because this is what we are. Right? We're all putting equal effort in order to get a video which is going to be not only self-explanatory, but also educational, factual, and people from all manner of life. In particular, those that cause my major discomfort. It will be a learning process for them also. So this video or documentary that we're doing, the reason why I'm doing it is so that our message can go as far afield as it possibly can. Okay?
Thank you. I want to open out. I'm just aware of sort of time considerations, but it'd be great to open it out to the audience for a couple of commercial questions. That would be great. And just like essentially just to say, questions around the progress of the film production, filmmaking process. So you've got a bit of time. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
So I know this is going to be kind of like hard to concentrate down, but generally speaking, do you feel like the end film is for black people who don't live in Bristol to kind of get a deeper understanding of something that's happened specifically, or is it kind of aimed at white people around the world to know the kind of stuff that's happening?
As I tried to explain previously, this project is a project based around education and attainment, based around factual information coming through. I did mention briefly that, while I'm an Afro-Caribbean, my culture is Afro-Caribbean, I expect and I sincerely hope that this video will go right across the world, because people need to understand one thing. I did allude to the fact that while other people are suffering from injustice, the only reason why I'm prioritizing this because of my personal constitution as an Afro-Caribbean individual. So it's going to be right across the board. The project is for everyone, consumption.
And I think using high production value art, which is not usually available to grassroots communities, is a way of communicating through education, but using really stylistic art that not just, you said black people or the black community, I'm talking about the wider community, the people, the privileged people who've got so much money, that or wealth, that they're completely disconnected to what people are going through in mixed communities, what they face on a daily basis. It's ignored. And I think going to this effort, to the effort we've gone to, it's palatable for all audiences. It's to educate not just one race but all races.